Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Bragg.
And I'm Jill Valley. Is he a criminal or somebody who's just too compassionate? That's the question facing jurors in the trial of a former Bitterroot doctor accused of negligent homicide by overprescribing drugs.
Prosecutors agree that Dr. Chris Christensen prescribed drugs to patients without much discretion. As MTN's Augusta McDonald shows us, his defense says it was the doctor's empathy that got him into trouble.
The case against Christensen started over 3 years ago when a task force of local, state, and federal officers raided his practice in Florence. Ravalli County Deputy Attorney Thorne Geist said that Christensen was overprescribing dangerous drugs and that he knew how dangerous those drugs were.
First, do no harm. It's one of the fundamental principles of medicine, and you will hear testimony in this case that when the defendant ignored that principle, when he began writing prescriptions for controlled substances outside the accepted course or the accepted standards of his professional practice. It was the medical professionals of this community and of this state who took action to protect his patients.
One by one, Geist detailed charges that are related to 11 of Christensen's former patients, 2 of whom are now dead from drug-related incidents. Christensen's attorney, Josh Vanderwettering, argued that the former doctor was not a criminal, but instead compassionate to a fault.
The one thing he doesn't do that the other doctors do is just not treat patients who need help. He is, in the words of his wife, who also testifies that she worked there, he is compassionate to a fault. But that's not a crime.
Late last week, prosecutors reduced the case from over 300 felonies to just under 24, including the 2 negligent homicide counts. Reporting in Hamilton, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
A trial in Ravalli County expected to last into mid-November.
New tonight, Montana Grizzly safety Justin Strong arrested after an incident in Washington this weekend. The Pullman Police Department reporting Strong was arrested early Saturday morning near Stadium Way in Pullman, Washington. The 22-year-old is accused of second-degree assault stemming what from Pullman police are calling a citizen dispute. The senior played his first 2 seasons at Oregon State before transferring to UM. The body of the missing retired Butte police officer found earlier today. 52-year-old Tim Tracy was found in an area of Homestake Lake east of Butte. A news release from the Butte Silverbow Sheriff Ed Lester says the cause of death appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Funeral arrangements are pending. Switching now to weather, a gorgeous day in western Montana. Will it hold up for the rest of the week? For more, let's go to meteorologist Russ Thomas and his first forecast. Russ.
Not only will it hold up, it's actually going to get better, especially as we head into your Tuesday. We're going to see beautiful conditions. Let's take a look outdoors. A shot taken in Polson earlier today, or St. Joseph Medical Center iCam, and you can see that partly cloudy sky over the lake there. Again, temperatures not as warm as they are going to be tomorrow. Satellite and radar image. What we have for you is, again, those clouds kind of moving through earlier in the day, but now we're seeing clearing conditions. So some good news there. And again, it looks like weather is going to improve, not just for tomorrow. We're going to have nice weather for the next several days.
All right, Russ, thank you. The Missoula City Council selected 8 candidates to start the process of filling the vacancy for that Ward 2 seat. That position was filled by Ruth Ann Sweeney last January, but she's resigned to take a job in North Dakota.
MTN's Ken Lutzen joins us live in the studio with more on the next steps in filling this vacancy. Ken?
Jill, Dennis, the 8 selected candidates will receive written questions from the city clerk tomorrow morning. In-person interviews will take place on 2 separate days. 4 candidates being interviewed on October 25th and the other 4 on November 1st. Once interviews take place, the city council will vote on a new representative on November 6th. The 8 candidates to fill the Ward 2 position are Mertha Becerra, Ronald Barker, Jason Crumbeck, Jack Metcalf, Jim Polk, J. Arthur Rains, Madison Schroeder, and Mark Storrud. The new representative will be sworn in on November 8th and begin duties as a city council member. Dennis?
Thanks, Kent. That term will last until November 2019 when the Ward 2 seat will be up on the general city election ballot. Montana Governor Steve Bullock says he's glad a federal appeal court is upholding the state's long-standing limits on campaign spending, saying the ruling keeps democracy at its best. Bullock's comments came today as the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld Montana's position on campaign limits in Lair versus Modal, a case which has been going through the legal system for the past half-dozen years. In 1994, Montana voters approved contribution limits, setting a maximum for individuals at just over $1,300, while political parties can donate just over $47,000. But those levels increased last year after U.S. District Court Judge Charles Lovell ruled that the limits actually restricted free speech. However, in the review by two of the appellate judges, they found Montana had shown evidence of interest attempting to use campaign contributions to acquire legislation. In a statement, Bullock said the lawsuit sought to open the floodgates of money in Montana elections by making it easier for out-of-state corporations to buy office holders. He said elections should be decided by we the people, not by corporations, millionaires, or wealthy special interests buying more television ads. Attorney General Tim Fox calls the ruling a win for democracy in Montana. It's not known if the plaintiffs will ask for a full review of the case by the appellate court. In the aftermath of Montana's vicious 2017 fire season, a new nonprofit journalism group brings a panel of fire managers and experts together to discuss lessons we learned about living with fire. While the just concluded fire season didn't have the intensity of the fierce fires Montana experienced in 2000, it was still the most impactful in a decade, with more than 1 million acres torched statewide. Tuesday night, the new online magazine Tree Source is assembling a panel of experts for a public forum to discuss this past fire season and what it forecasts for the future. The panel will include newly retired incident management team leader Greg Ponson, who played a leading role in the Lolo Peak and Rice Ridge fires and has led the attack on the biggest fires in western Montana for several years. Others include U.S. Forest Service fire scientist Colin Hardy and Missoula County Air Quality Specialist Sarah Cofield. Forum starts at 7 tomorrow evening in the UC Theater on the University of Montana campus. It'll all be streamed on Facebook Live. Tree Source is a new online magazine promoting forest journalism for a sustainable future.
The Red Cross is there in the face of fires and floods and monster storms, but they serve at the scene of man-made disasters too. One Red Cross volunteer from Missoula was handpicked to help the survivors of the Las Vegas massacre, and it says that it's something she will never forget. Moments after the shooting stopped the night of October 1st, the Red Cross knew it needed its best to help those hurt in the worst mass shooting in recent U.S. history. And that is how Missoula's Tony Taylor found herself in Las Vegas.
This was not where you could call up and say, hey, I want to go to Vegas. We were hand-selected by national headquarters to go on this operation.
Around her neck, the pins of the places she's been. From hurricanes in the south to floods in California, the fires here in Montana. But this was different.
You know, when it comes to a hurricane or a tornado or even a flood, you can rebuild. But what we saw in Las Vegas, we saw so many people who were shattered, so many people who lost loved ones.
And Tony heard story after story of the fear and the panic and the pain and suffering that extended beyond those concert grounds.
It was the people waiting on the street corner to get a bus that were caught in this mass pandemonium of people running and being trampled. It was people who were having dinner at Denny's. It was people who worked at the Mandalay who heard the shooting and didn't want to leave.
In Vegas, she helped the wounded find wheelchairs, crutches, specialized beds. She's a disability and integration specialist, among other things, which is something fairly new to the Red Cross.
Ideally, what we want is for disability integration to be in each state for when they have a disaster, whether it's a house fire or flooding, that they can go and get these things for these folks to replace it.
Tony is home now, finally, and she is ready for the next deployment, where her special brand of compassion, caring, and expertise will be on call again. But her Vegas experience is one that will stay with her.
My thought at the end of the day is, what could I have done better? Who could I have helped more? But I know that giving the operation over to the local chapter, that the work that I did will continue, and that helps me get through the day, knowing that I helped those folks.
She also tells me they need Red Cross volunteers here in Montana, so please go to redcross.org to find out how to do that.
It took only 5 days for the Grizzly marching band to raise the money needed to go to the Grizz Cat game. Due to budget cuts at the UM Athletic Department, the band thought a week ago that they weren't going to be able to go to the annual game, keeping up with tradition. But just over 231 people jumped in on a GoFundMe page, and the band has now raised more than $13,900. They said they were going to need about $18,000 per band member, but they're going to work it out. And they got word, too, that the UM Foundation is jumping in to help them out as well. They'll keep raising funds here. getting ready to go down there and play music at the big Cat Grizz game. So it looks like that's all a go for November 18th. Coming up after the break, Russ will be back with the rest of your work week forecast.
And later, a wrap-up of the top national news headlines today, including the latest on the attack that killed 4 U.S. soldiers. Still ahead, you're on KPAX.